Hello. Hi, everybody.
Hello!
Welcome.
It's us.
This is what we look like.
You can tell we're directors because we have like very official badges.
Yeah, look, see it? See the badge? It's very official. Look, there's one there.
And thank you to Greg and Texelsaur because look what they made me.
Oh my god, it's so great. We also have
I'm totally not going to be distracted this entire panel.
Oh my gosh. Hi everyone. I'm making sure that I can see you all in chat. I've got the chat pulled up here. It's so wonderful to see all of your wonderful names popping up in front of me. Actually, I'm gonna move my windows around. Moving my windows. Hopefully I don't screw anything up. I am.
You have the best songs. Did you know you're
Thank
my favorite
you.
musician?
Wow! No! Oh!
Yes.
Oh heck! Oh heck! Oh. Okay. I think I'm. Oh my god! I have this stream playing in my living room, and like I sound so loud.
You are so loud.
I know. Why? Why did this happen to me? Okay.
Not me though. I'm quiet.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome everybody to our very special presentation today. I am still finagling things over here. There we go. Beautiful.
You want to mute yourself in Discord?
Oh yeah, I definitely do. Thank you.
Okay, because I can hear you twice, which is great, but
Great, I
maybe
know.
not for right now.
Yeah, I don't think you want that. Okay, so welcome to our presentation, which we have titled "How to Put Together an Event in 2 Months and Why You Shouldn't." It is a retrospective of VGM Together, and really, this isn't much more than us just kind of wanting to like talk about what happened and tell you all about how we did it, and honestly, talk to you guys and answer any questions that anybody might have about the experience or the process. And we definitely want to lean heavily on the question part of things because otherwise we're just going to be like talking about ourselves for an hour, you know?
You're good at that, though.
I'm very good at that. But I don't think we want to. Also, this is a very exciting time for us to be presenting to you from VR chat because the Fizzbones update just released, which means I can grab Nujj's ears.
How do you do this again?
Yeah, I'm gonna grab this one. Yeah, and just leave it there. I'm gonna grab the other one. Give me that. And leave it there. Hey, let me.
This is what we do in our spare time.
Oh my gosh. All right. So, hi everyone. We're so excited to do this, and why don't we start? So, I guess. Oh yeah, I've
Tell
got.
them who you are.
I'm okay. Yeah, you're right. I should tell you who I am. My name is Doug, aka Drum Ultima, in the chat. Look here. I'll. Oh yes. Look, here I am. It's me in the chat.
Zoom in.
There I am. Hello. I'm Drum
Wow.
Ultima. I'm Doug. I am obviously one of the co-directors of VGM Together. And I am a musician. I play video game music. I record for video game soundtracks. I stream video game music on Twitch. I play percussion. I play like vibraphone and marimba and stuff like that. And I'm in a band called Disco Cactus. And then that's who I am. Who are you?
I'm Nujj. You may know me as a mod on such streams as Drum Ultima.
Wow.
Wow. I'm on Twitch a lot. You probably have seen my name.
Okay, that's who we are.
And I'm the other co-director. Yay.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. I was wondering if we were gonna get there. Wait, is that buttons over?
Okay.
That is buttons over there. I just noticed that.
That is, yes.
Well, actually, this is technically Solid Sneak. I'll put him right there.
Yes, that's right.
And there's a Liquid Sneak over there. But
I'm
yeah.
afraid to like reach over there and like mess up my chat window, which I just did anyway.
Oh, it's
Yeah. I got it.
We're so distracted. So when we were planning this, we specifically told our VR leads. Well, Nudge specifically told our VR leads, don't put anything interactable on the table, or else we're gonna get distracted. And this is what's happening.
We never get distracted. What are you talking about?
This is what's happening right now. So, okay. So let's talk about this. Why am I sitting down? Yes, I am. No, I'm not. Hello.
Mhm.
Let me sit down.
All right.
let me
You
take
have
a
fun
seat.
doing that. I'm going to start.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. BGM Together to me, like, started for me when I was home one day feeling kind of not that happy that all my favorite conventions and everything had been canceled. All my favorite musicians, all their gigs were gone. I couldn't see any live music. I was not in a good headspace. And I started messaging my good friend Doug, being like, I don't know why I keep worrying about this stuff. It's not like I can do anything about it anyway. And then when he came back to Discord, he wrote, actually, I think you can.
Yep.
You want to take it from there?
Yeah, absolutely. So, everybody, this event, I think, the conception of the event actually didn't start very long before we actually put it on, but I think the impetus did. The impetus started when this crazy COVID-19 pandemic that we're all living in. Sorry, I'm like swatting your ears right now. When this pandemic started,
Just like real life.
Yeah. God, how are we gonna get through this panel?
I don't know. We're always like this. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
everything is fine. Okay, so the pandemic was happening. Everybody was like, we started in like March 2020 when it's like, oh, I guess we have to stay inside for like 2 weeks. That's what they said, right? No.
Yeah.
But so we're all dealing with this, and things are rough. We're all feeling isolated, and actually the impetus of it started through my band Disco Cactus when because I was living with two of the members of my band at the time, Sam and Laura, and we started talking about like what if we like put together some like fun video game music arrangement project where like we got lots of people to play and arrange it in a way that everybody could feel really close together. And this ended up being the project that those of you who were at our last event know as Line Them Up. So we were putting together this big arrangement project, and we were trying to figure out a way to present it. And at the time, we were thinking that maybe presenting it at something like MagFest would be a good option, because we were trying to think of like, what is an event that really embodies the spirit of bringing people together through video game music, right? That's what we were all about. We wanted to bring people together, and we were all fans of video game music, and we wanted to put those two things together. So we were thinking like, oh, maybe MagFest would be a good idea for something like that. And as we began to explore that option, as time went on, and as things frankly got worse, we began to realize that was not actually going to be an option for us. And so we kind of like found ourselves back at the drawing board in terms of like, okay, this isn't going to work. So what are we going to do? I was going out for a run. This was the beginning of January, I think. Wow, I can't believe I was running outside in the beginning of January. It must not have been that cold. Okay, well, anyway, I had gone out for...
I know, you were out on a run.
Yeah.
That's why you didn't respond to me right away when I was like messaging you.
Right. So, yeah, I was going out on a run, and I had started thinking about like, well, how are we going to like present this thing? I wish there was some sort of event going on that was, that embodied this whole spirit of like bringing people together through video game music. And as I was running, I was like, well, if this doesn't exist, what if we just made one? Like, what if we just did that? And I was thinking like, well, I think in order to do something like that, like I would need to like, we need to know how to like, set up like some sort of big streaming event, which, I know how to do that. And I know like other people who know how to do that through my involvement with events like Zeldathon. And do I know anybody who's like put on like streaming concerts? So, there's Josh at Bonus Stage. He's done that. And like, do I know people who have put on activities with like, panels and stuff like that, like events with that? Oh, Nujj did that with Swag Fam. They had their Swag Fest. And like, I started like, just like thinking about all these people that I knew who had done all of these things. And I was like, this idea might not be that crazy actually. So yeah, I got back from my run, and then like I saw these messages from Nujj, and I was like, okay, wait, hold on. I have an idea. And so that was like January 4-ish, 5, 6, something around then.
No, it was like December 30th.
Was it really? Was it?
Yeah, I think so.
December?
I checked.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I think it was. I know.
Well, okay. It was sometime like
It's like right before the new year, I think.
Yeah. The world was falling apart. It was around the time the world was still falling apart. And
correct. So like now? I mean,
yeah.
what?
Yeah. God. So yeah. So we started talking about this, and and another big part of the impetus is actually from one of our VR leads, Texelsor, who was involved.
Bruno says it's definitely before Christmas because we asked him to write the code of conduct and he said after Christmas. So
okay. All right. Wow, really? It was that long. Man, I thought it was like
I don't know, sometime in December, probably near the end of it.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like whatever. I don't know, because all I know is that our very first trailer was posted on January 11. And
yeah.
So okay.
It's in our notes, right?
It's in our notes. Yeah, it's right
yes,
there.
It is.
So anyway, like our team is starting to come together now. I talked to Nujj and I'm like, can you help me do this thing? I talked to Josh at Bonus Stage, like, you know how to put together artists. Like, can you help us do that? And then, there's Texelsor. So before I talked to Nujj, Texelsor was showing me some of what you all now know as, or those of you who were involved last year know as the Virtual Harbor, which was a recreation of the MagFest space in VR. And they had been doing that thinking that maybe some sort of like MagFest thing was going to happen. And then when that wasn't going to happen, they were left with all of this stuff. And Texelsor was just kind of showing me around in it. And I was like, man, you did so much work here. And he was like, yeah, we're thinking maybe we'll like find a way to like use this in like some other event if there's ever like an event coming up, And I was like, okay, hold on.
Well,
yeah. So it was me, Nujj, Josh, and Texelsor. And this is also around the time when I started talking to Tex about this, that Texelsor was like, I really think my friend Greg should be involved. And I was like, who's Greg? And he was like, he's been like one of the
buckle up,
yeah, exactly. You're in for a ride. Yeah. So who's Greg? Greg is like I remember Texelsor describing Greg as like the creative powerhouse that he had been working with over at the Virtual Harbor. And I was like,
and what an understatement that was.
Yeah, I was like, okay, whatever, sure. Let's invite this guy along. If you think he's a good idea, whatever is going to make your life easier. I don't know who this guy is, whatever. And so we had
at this point, I still didn't know what we were doing. Like I was trying to be like, I was telling somebody about it, and I was like, Doug wants me to do some thing with his friends. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh my God. Greg in chat. Hey, I can hear you all back there.
I know. Hi, Greg. You're amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, Waza. Okay. So, anyway, so we're in a meeting with me, Nujj, Josh, Tex, and Greg. This is our like branding meeting. Like, okay, we've decided we're going to do some sort of event. What are we going to call it? What's it going to look like? All of this stuff. And I can't make this up. Greg just kind of pipes up and he says, I did make a logo for something like this just in case it ever happened someday.
Just in case somebody made this exact thing. Do you want to see the logo?
That logo is what you see on the stream and what you've seen everywhere. Greg had just already made it just because he felt just like making it. Yeah, there it is. There, right there. There it is. He just made that just in case. Greg had conceived of this project before we had ever talked to him about it.
Yep.
So we made our social media accounts after
that was the day where we were like, we need a name because our original notes still say like possible like video game music something.
Yeah.
Like,
online video game music convention. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I think we all of us then were going through like thesaurus.com.
Yeah.
We're like, what are words that like encompass what we want to say?
Yeah.
And then I think eventually I was just like, what about like together? Because like we all feel so alone right now. Like we're all so isolated. How about together? VGM together.
Right. And we were all kind of like, ooh, that's kind of nice. Yeah. So we went VGM concurrently. That would have been a good.
You laugh, Bees Burlesque, but I'm pretty sure we must have said that at some point during that meeting.
Yeah, we were definitely that was definitely like the notes were silly. I should see if I can dig them up at some point. They were pretty funny.
Oh my god, they're horrible.
Yeah, VGM at the same time.
Why didn't we go with that one?
Oh my god. So yeah, we eventually like we all kind of decided, okay, VGM together. That sounds kind of nice. Let's do that. And we made social media accounts, and we threw together. I think Nujj and I got on like a video call, and I streamed like Premiere Pro into Discord.
Yeah.
And we made this trailer.
Because I had an idea like in my head, and I was like, Doug, I want to make it like this, but I don't know how to do anything.
Yeah.
I was like trying to like explain to him what was in my head, and Doug's like, oh yeah, I got this. I can do everything. I'm Doug. Blah blah blah.
Bruno just posted something too, which I loved. The mod schedule copy of sheet 4.1.
Yep. Exactly.
Oh god. So yeah, so like we put threw together that that video. I remember I also had like Laura, like I was like, Laura, can you record some lines for this? Because also part of this process for me was like Laura was spearheading Line Them Up, and that was already a huge project all in itself. And I had gotten to the point in my involvement with that project as an arranger and as a performer where I was kind of done. Like, I wasn't doing any video editing. I was just, checking on edits and making sure things looked and sounded okay and stuff like that. But I wasn't making anything anymore. So I just felt like, okay.
Tug's like, I don't have enough to do. I'll put on a convention.
Well, no, like, I was like, Laura's like working super hard. It is time for me to fill the role of like, how do we put it out there? And I was like, okay, Laura, just do that. Focus on that. Don't worry about it. I will do this thing. And thinking that at the time, honestly, when I first said that, thinking that maybe it would just be like one Twitch stream, like one like an hour on like a Tuesday night or something like that. Like who would have thought that like we would actually put together VGM together instead? But
right.
So anyway, so we figured it out. We realized that we wanted this to be an event that was not just about Line Them Up actually, but really about what was the spirit of Line Them Up, which is bringing people together through video game music. And we wanted to make it feel like a convention type environment. So we wanted to put on performances. We wanted to do panels. We wanted there to be like activities, games, and stuff like that. And then we began assembling the team at that point.
We did. Yes. Yeah. I think the first thing we had to do was say, when I go to a convention, when somebody goes to a convention, like what are they looking for? It's an in-person one. And how can we replicate that in a virtual sense? So we thought about, going to MagFest. Like, obviously you want to see concerts. Like, that was going to be a big part of what we did.
Yeah.
I love going to panels. I still wake up early at MagFest and go to them. I know a lot of people don't, but I do. Yeah. And so I was like, I think we need a lot of panels. There's like a lot of interesting topics that people in the VGM community like to cover. There's so much talent. Like, we got to have panels. But, people come to MagFest and they play games together. We need somebody for community. And it just kind of snowballed from there because it was virtual. We needed all these other aspects that maybe didn't translate as well. I was like, we need moderation because this is going to be on Twitch and Discord. And if you watched our mod panel yesterday, you know how important that is.
Yep.
We need social media so people know that things are happening. We needed so many different aspects, and we needed to find people that we thought would fill these roles well. And this community is amazing. There's so many talented people doing so many different things. We could actually look through them and say, I think this person would be perfect for this role. Like, let's talk to them and see if they're interested. Like, Waza, I knew like he would plan things on my Discord. And I was like, I think he would be great at community games. Like, let's talk to Waza. He's so personable. Like, he'll be great for this role, for instance, or like Monica, you knew from Zeldathon, and we're so lucky to have her on board. Like, what would we do without her?
Oh, yeah.
So like, she takes a lot of charge of social media, like for this event too. So yeah,
Yeah, it was just kind of
obviously
incredible.
had to pull in Bruno for modding.
Right, yeah. Exactly.
Obviously.
Yeah. Like, speaking of copy of sheet 4.1, like, I don't know anybody who like wrangles spreadsheets like Bruno does. I remember when, like, on my own personal stream when we started putting together my song request system, Bruno just was like, okay, back away. I am opening Google Sheets. And just started going whoosh. You know, so like,
Yep.
yeah, it was just kind of incredible that like we just knew people. Like it wasn't that difficult actually to assemble a team, you know?
Right.
So yeah, I think like our first like lead staff was like, you know, Laura was, you know, doing Line Them Up, aka our like spotlight event, you know. And which was really important that we kept in touch with her so that she could tell us like how things were being paced in that project to make sure that what we were doing with VGM Together and what she was doing with Line Them Up stayed on the same at the same pace, basically, you know. And then we brought on Bruno for modding, we brought on Waza for community, we brought on Ro Panuganti, who just kind of did everything for a little while. Which
can do everything.
Awesome.
How
Yeah.
is that possible?
And he'll be playing later. He's performing tonight.
Yes, he is performing tonight. The other performance tonight is Geek Swag, and both of them were also on our staff, helping me on the panel side.
Mm-hmm. We also
Oz from Geek Swag is my brother, if you don't know, and he's very good at taking like my brain thoughts and organizing them into Excel. So like I was like, wait, I need his help.
Yeah, you had quite a robust team for panels actually. Danny Music was helping out too as well.
I did, yes.
I also
and There's No Easy Mode was there.
Yep. We had MC from Zeldathon and Dak from Magfest actually as consultants, believe it or not. When we started doing this, you know, it was like, okay, we've never done this before. Can we talk to people who have, you know? And the two of them were really instrumental in just like sitting down with us and just saying, yes, from my experience, do this. Maybe don't do that. Be careful about this thing, you know, so on and so forth. And that was awesome.
Yeah. Oh wait, can we go back to like when we finally announced the like trailer to the world?
Yeah.
I think part of what we had to do was get the concept out there that we exist, because we didn't before, like a week earlier. So I think the mood we were really going for with that trailer was kind of nostalgia. Kind of this like wistfulness that everybody was feeling from the beginning of the trailer to the end, where it's almost like hopeful, like, oh, it's going to come together. But at that point, nobody knew who was making this. They didn't know it was us.
That's
you know,
true.
It was just like VGM Together, and we put out the trailer. Mysterious.
Yeah, we just and we kept it on lockdown.
So, like, I think we did. We didn't tell anybody. And so I think the way that we introduced it to the community was also a big draw, in that like everybody was feeling these feelings, and they're like, oh, well, like somebody's trying to come up with a solution, but who and what, you know? And so you could hear our voices, and I think people could recognize some of them. Like, I feel like your voice is a voice that people hear because you're on stream every week. People see my name. They don't necessarily know what I sound like or what I look like or anything like that. So I think having all these like voices in there overlapping, kind of like, I think it drew up a lot of interest in what we were doing. So I think that was a good start to the whole process.
Yeah. So yeah, I think and actually, you know, it's funny because you know, talking about that trailer too, like I think after just thinking about our team after I made that trailer, I was kind of like, we need people who are better at this, you know, to do this stuff, because like I could kind of do it, you know. I have like some general like you know graphic and video skills, but it's nothing too fancy. So, and Greg, you know, we also had Greg who was really good at that stuff, but Greg was literally making what this event looks like from the ground up. So Greg's hands were really full as well. Yep. So we also put together a media team. We have Nick's Mad Science in chat, who made our second trailer, which was gorgeous. Which actually clearly announced the event a month after we put that one out. And after we had, you know, recruited basically the whole team and define like what everybody's roles were going to be. Like Greg, for example, like Greg started out as we just called him a VR lead, but then we realized, no, actually you're like probably the creative impetus of like what this event will look like. I mean, actually, can we get I think Greg is going to, didn't like Greg not want us to show the carpet in here? I don't know. I think everybody should see the carpet in here. Hey, camera people. The
carpet is amazing.
Can we look at the carpet in here? Hey. Oh, there they go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Like Greg just like designed these like beautiful textiles and like, these great graphic design elements. And so like, he went from being our VR lead to our design lead essentially. Let's see who else changed. Yeah, Ro like went from being like music to like just generalist lead because he just did everything.
We just put him as like lead.
Yeah,
he just did everything.
Yeah, and then Nujj and I also ended up having our roles develop because like being director is a very nebulous sort of thing.
It's basically you're just in charge of like everything at some level.
Yeah.
But then we needed like also specific roles that needed to be filled that we could fill ourselves. So I became panels lead, and then Doug became head of tech.
Yeah.
And that worked really well, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, man, we did all that. We built a website. We figured out merch. We got t-shirts. Greg did all of that too. And then
Greg is a hero is basically
that's what this panel is called. How to put together an event in 2 months. Greg is a hero. VGM Together retrospective. Yeah, and then Nick made our second trailer. We put that out February 12. I wrote down in our notes, literally a month after our first thing came out, and
then we can't forget how hard Texelsaur was working the whole time as well, because one big thing that we really wanted was to recreate this whole convention experience, right? And that's great. You can have it on Twitch, you can have it on Discord, but what if you could actually walk around in it? Yep. And I think like Texel would be up like all night perfecting like the lighting and like making sure everybody's experience at the virtual harbor was going to be amazing, because it was like, it had been so long since we had all been together in a convention center, who knew like that would be the last time for so long we would be right next to our friends watching a concert. And because of the VR space, I was able to do that. I literally watched several concerts in the concert hall, like standing next to my friends. Like,
Oh yeah.
That wasn't an experience I thought I would be able to have during the pandemic.
Yeah.
It was huge for me.
It was incredible. And yes, speaking of Tex, like it's interesting because Greg does a lot of, like, as far as the VR side goes, Greg did a lot of what you can see. Tex did a lot of what you can't see.
Right.
The way that we're talking to you right now, the way that we are doing this presentation, the camera angles floating around and all of this stuff, Texelsaur designed that like from the ground up. Like it's unreal. Like I can't even begin to describe.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Welcome to VGM Together. Brag about your friends. Panel 2022. That's what's happening right now.
So amazing.
Yeah, the staff is incredible. It's funny talking about it because like who would have thought, like, when we were just like kind of daydreaming, like what if we put together an event? Like, I never thought I'd be like, oh my God, everybody here is a genius.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what in our notes here.
If you guys have questions for us, we can see you guys. Yeah, so please.
Yeah, please talk to us. Because at this point we're going from month one of planning this event was basically, what is it? How do we do it? What are we doing and how do we do it? I have no idea what's going on. And then month two was when we started like recruiting and scheduling and doing like everything. Once we figured out exactly
that was very difficult.
It was going to be. Yeah. So at this point, like, Josh and Nujj had recruited our musicians and panelists. You know, I think like in a lot of other events, the way you would put something like that together would involve maybe some sort of like, you know, some sort of application process or whatever, but we weren't able to do that because of how short of a time frame we had.
The time frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Hold on. Danny does have a question when you're done. So
great. Yes. Okay. We should. I just want to make sure
finish what you're saying.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we like also shout out not just Josh but also Gene, who was instrumental in the recruitment process for our musicians. And
had
then
an awesome panel yesterday, by the way.
Yes. Yeah, that was awesome. And then Nujj, you know, I got to shout out Nujj here as well, who did a ton of the recruitment for the panel side, as well as There's No Easy Mode and Danny and Boz and Zen, who were helping out as well. Just like completely filling out a huge program of content in a very short period of time was like really impressive. Is Danny's question, why shouldn't we do an event in 2 months?
Yes, and I think that's an important question.
Yeah.
Actually, like there's a reason that we called this panel what we called it, right?
And I would go as far as to say, I think what I just described is part of the answer to that, because that kind of recruitment is a ton of work. It takes a ton of time, and your scope is limited only to what you can see, you know? Like, as we were recruiting and as we were bringing people in, like, we were limited to our perspective of, like, who do we know and how do we reach them, you know? But if we had more time, maybe we could have gotten into some sort of application process and found better ways to spread the word. Because something that was very important to us in our presentation was trying to show the diversity of the VGM community. You know, we wanted to show a lot of different people from a lot of different backgrounds. And, you know, I was pretty happy with the achievement that we were able to get in that respect. But with only 2 months' time, like, fostering diversity is not just a matter of saying like, oh yeah, we like everybody. Like, no, it is a lot more work than that, you know? Like, it really takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. You have to try hard. If you didn't have to try hard, it wouldn't be an issue, you know? So
yeah, I think the other aspect to that is if you want to do something, you don't want to kill yourself doing it and regret that you did. And I do not regret what we did. Yes. But it was very, very difficult.
Oh, yeah.
For those 2 months, that is all that I did. For those 2 months, I would go to work, not physically because pandemic, but like as soon as I would log off, all I would do was VGMT stuff until I fell asleep.
Yep.
I didn't have like a workspace at home, so I made a spot on the floor of my guest room where like Doug knows, because every video call I was just sitting on the floor of the guest room. There was like a bed behind me. It was very scenic. Yeah. And that's all I could see. I would close my eyes and see like the panel spreadsheet, or like, you know, it was continuous for 2 months. There was no break. My brain had no downtime.
Yep.
Like for those of you who play Final Fantasy 14, that is when I went on my big hiatus because I had no brain space left for anything else.
Yeah.
And it was every single day. And that's not a healthy way to be.
Yeah. I mean, I had a very similar experience myself too. Like having like, because I basically did the same thing. Like my work schedule is a lot weirder because I'm a musician and I'm a music teacher and I was like teaching online and stuff like that. But yeah, when I wasn't doing that, I was working on VGM Together. And for me, the thing that I did that I think was very damaging was I bargained with myself. And bargaining, okay, this is something that I've always done as part of my workflow. I think it's just how I'm used to operating. And I don't think it's good. I think it's bad to do this. I didn't know that until this experience. But basically what I said was like, okay, I have to work furiously all day, every day until March 14, 2021. And then once we get there, it'll all be over. That wasn't true. It wasn't all over. Not only was there like stuff that we had to... Yeah, like we had the stuff that we had to do. There was so much stuff
after.
Yeah. And then also, I had pushed the rest of my life to after that date, and then I had to catch up on all of those things. So I'm trying to cram like my real life stuff that I have pushed aside, as well as trying to like catch up. Oh my God, there goes my leg. Wow. As well as trying to...
Just like real life.
Yeah, and then we had to do all of our cleanup work after the event, which I didn't really realize that we had, and like it was like spraining a muscle, except it was like my brain instead.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah.
It was a pretty intense period of like, just like, I didn't have bandwidth anymore as soon as the event ended, but that didn't matter because there was still stuff to do.
Right. Yeah.
Like...
Yeah. Exactly. So.
And also, okay. Yeah, you can continue, and then I'll come back to one of the chat comments.
No. I was just gonna say, I hope, Danny, that it helps answer your question as to why you shouldn't do it in 2 months. I think it's really important when you're any project that you're working on, and no matter what the scope is, it could be the biggest thing in the world. You have to pace yourself, and you have to set boundaries for yourself. You have to be able to say, I will work on this much in a given day, and then no matter how stressed out I am about it, I will stop. I will rest. Right. I will work on something else. I will spend time with my friends, my family, my dog, whatever it might be for you. Like, just to make sure that you are like giving your brain the space to like re-energize. It's kind of like working out in that sense. You need rest days, and we didn't do that, and we definitely paid for it. I think when we started like planning this event and we started talking to like, various people who would be involved in different ways, we were on a voice call with Laura in particular, who was like, oh yeah, it's great that we're talking about this now because maybe we won't all have to go to therapy afterwards, which is exactly what happened to all of us after we finished it, So yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Nudge.
All right. Well, there's no easy mode in chat said that everything was really organized for the panelists that came in, and like everything that they had to do was clearly laid out. And I think that was one of the important things I wanted to talk about is that we had to look at this from the perspective of everybody involved, not just us, not just people attending the convention, which obviously are important and we want them to have a good experience. Thanks for the sub, Sweet Peaches. Anyways.
Yo!
Yo!
Thanks for the fire sub.
Thanks for the fire sub. Anyway, I had to look at it, and Doug had to look at it from everybody who would be involved. Whether it was our tech team, Doug was like, you know what? This is what we need them to do. So what do we have to do to make it possible for them to do their jobs? Let me write this up clearly in a way that makes sense to them. Or for me, like, okay, these panelists are coming in. They want to be part of our show. That's great. What are the clear instructions they need so that they don't feel lost? Right. They don't have a question about, like, where do I have to go? Like, how am I supposed to stream to this thing?
God,
what time do I have to do this or that?
I think, I'm glad you mentioned that because I almost forgot. Like, I think the thing that I did the most in this event that I never expected I would have to do is write instructions. I wrote so much. And honestly, I kind of liked it. Like, I'm like looking forward to doing that again, but like, I didn't realize that was such an important thing, but we spent a lot of time writing.
Yeah, we really did. And not only had it had to be like in a clear way that they could access it again, right? Because at first I was like, oh, I'll just put it in this form and they'll submit it. And oh no, it's gone. Like, we needed to have like a way to like keep everyone organized. We wanted to make sure everybody joined the Discord, had the right role, could see the right channels. Bruno helped so much with that. Thank you.
Yes.
So just constantly looking at it from all these different points of view, I thought gave it a whole different perspective to me. It wasn't like I wasn't going in expecting it to be like that, but I was like, no, like now let me put myself in the shoes of a panelist coming in or a tech person coming in or, you know, just somebody walking into VR chat for the first time. Hey, did you know that you don't have to be on a VR headset? You can play on desktop mode. Like, these are all things that we have to get across to the community, you know?
Oh, yeah. And like, yeah, Bruno brought up a good point in here too. Like, looking out for the people who rely on you is extremely important, not just instructions, but making sure they're feeling well and being acknowledged and recognized for all they do. That was definitely really important. And that was one thing that I liked about our process, was that we had these like weekly meetings where the leads would get together and just everybody would talk about what they did that week, basically. Like, it was, you know, a fairly brief, concise, like, okay, I did this thing, and, you know, whatever. But it was a nice opportunity for us to at least be able to say then, like, okay, then do you need help with anything? You know, are we good? You know, like, is there anything that we need to do to make sure that you're okay? Because it would also be the opportunity for somebody to say, help, you know, like, I can't keep up with this, you know? And on the, you know, the side of our guests as well, I remember, you know, one thing, going back to Nick again, that, was an unexpected but actually really helpful thing, is that, you know, in spite of the documentation that, you know, we wrote up and stuff about how to, you know, stream and participate, sometimes there would be people who just didn't have a lot of experience, you know, and like, it was really nice that for those people, like, we could offer, you know, like, actually like one-on-one, like, counseling sessions with, like, I know that we had at least like one or two panelists that booked a time with Nick, who is a broadcast specialist, and Nick just walked them through, like, this is how you stream, this is how you put everything together and stuff like that.
I think that's so important for these virtual events, because you don't want to exclude a like huge percentage of the population just because they've never done this before. If you have a way to make it accessible to everyone, like, that in itself will help with the whole diversity aspect of it, because you're not excluding people who could be there.
Right.
Speaking of including people that would be there, why don't you talk about the overnight stuff?
Oh my gosh. Oh man. Okay, so let's talk about something that didn't go according to plan. There was so we in addition to everybody that we recruited, like, there's so many video game musicians out there, and one idea that we had that we thought would be fun is if, like, we kept the stream running basically 24/7 through the weekend, and overnight played like a playlist of video submissions that people could send us, like other people who make video game music, and you know, have that running. Now, I will say, this is maybe the thing that we did, which was the straw that broke the camel's back in some way. It was like the one level of detail that we wanted to add to the whole experience that we actually just didn't have the time or bandwidth to really fully realize, as much as we tried. And boy, did I try. I like tested. There were so many nights where I had this playlist running for, like, you know, a half hour, 45 minutes, whatever, while I was working on other stuff. I was streaming it to one of our test channels just to make sure that it was working the way I wanted it to. And it didn't. It didn't work at all. And it had to do with, like, a playlist feature that was in our, you know, the broadcast software that we use, OBS, that I think what might have happened is that either some of the submissions that we got for videos, either the URLs were incorrect, or I entered them incorrectly, or they were taken down after they were submitted to us. It could have been anything, but something was broken in what ended up being a list of, like, probably like over 100 submissions to us. We had a ton of them.
Yeah, we got so many great submissions from everybody, because we opened it up literally to the entire community. We said, you know what, you want your song on VGM Together? Just send it to us.
Yeah. And so we had everything. Like, I had this playlist going, and I thought it was just going to be a matter of hit play, it's just going to run all night, and then we go to bed, and then we wake up in the morning.
It was a bike pump, Bruno.
Oh yeah, the bike pump. Yeah. Somebody played Megalovania on a bike pump. It was the craziest thing, and I was like, this is the weirdest thing I've ever heard. We have to put this in the playlist for sure.
It was so good. It was so good.
So anyway, I you know, the playlist starts going, and I remember as I'm like, you know, we were like in VR chat and stuff like that. It was a late night, and I noticed at one point, like, the screen was blank. I was like, that's weird. It stopped, and I, like, went back and I turned it back on, and then I kept going. I was like, well, I hope that doesn't happen again. And so I go to bed.
And then you went to bed.
Yeah, I go to bed at like 4 a.m., right? 4 a.m.
I wake up and then I wake up in the morning, and I wake up much earlier than Doug every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I go and then I see people like had written in chat like, oh, or no, not chat, but like in Discord, like, oh, like it stopped, and that was at like 5 a.m. and I think it was like 8 or 9 at that point in the morning, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
I had to call Doug. I felt so bad because I knew
yeah.
he had been working till like really late, and I was like, Doug, it broke.
Yeah,
please.
and I was like, so I like got out of bed and I restarted it, and I had to do like all sorts of things in order to figure out how to like get it to actually work. And I think what I ended up eventually doing is using my own personal like YouTube account and streaming from my computer and like doing some like weird like window capture things, so like you would only see the music videos in the playlist, and it was just like weird convoluted thing that made no sense whatsoever, and also like made
it
sure
worked.
Yeah, it worked, but like it was like after like I had done like what I thought was every possible like troubleshooting thing before the event happened.
Right.
It wasn't until the event that we had any trouble with it at all, you know? So,
of course.
Yep, that always happens.
The other weird hiccup thing that we weren't planning for is when I was making the panels schedule, I was like, oh, maybe it'll be easier if I just like, put it on Google Calendar and drag it around, because then you can just drag things around. That's a great idea.
Yep.
And then I went to my calendar for those dates, and I was like, why does it say daylight savings time on that weekend? And then I was like,
oh my God.
And I was like, Doug, we may have some slight issue right here.
God. It was so bad because, like, first of all, daylight savings time, I don't know why. It's stupid. Like, whatever. It happens.
I know.
But, like, it was, like, we also had staff in different time zones. And honestly, we had staff, some of our staff were in time zones that don't observe daylight savings. So like it was just like we had to put like these like giant like warnings everywhere all over the place, like everything's going to change on this day. Please just double check what time it is.
Yeah.
Please like make sure that it lines up with your time zone.
Because half our panels were like before the time change.
Yep.
And half our panels were after.
Yep.
And poor Greg making the schedule, it was like throwing up on itself.
Oh
it was
my
like,
God.
No,
yeah.
There's an hour.
we had to like call everybody, like every panelist and musician we had, just be like, you have to make sure you check what time it is. Like you have to do this. Please. We're going to ask you so many times. And all the tech tests we did, we were like, so what time is your panel? And it'd be like, Sunday at 3. I'm like, what time zone is it? Oh my God. It was.
We were fine. We were totally
calm. Everything was
Don't
great.
worry. Everything was fine.
Oh man.
We just have a couple minutes left.
Yeah.
But,
I want to make sure that we shout out like a few more people. We should shout out Lauren Leibowitz and Jason Napolitano, who were instrumental in helping us get the word out. Lauren Leibowitz came in, who is Lauren the Flute, if you know her through her video game music activities, and she rated our channel earlier. Thank you, Lauren. And she's a marketing copywriter, so she helped us come up with language for how we could get the word out. And Jason Napolitano, who does promotional releases professionally, just went ahead and did a press release for us out of the kindness of his heart.
That was amazing.
Yeah, it was really incredible.
Yeah, that was great.
We were published in a couple publications as a result, and so they were awesome. And then I have to also shout out Dr. Threx, Ben, and Math Effect from Disco Cactus, who jumped in at the last minute to help us throw together all the final like media assets that we needed in order to make everything come together. And then, of course, the entire Line Them Up team, which is like if you go to VGM Together and you click on the Line Them Up button there, you'll see everybody who was involved in that. There were like 170 people, so I'm not going to say all of their names right now.
Yeah. List them all right now in alphabetical order.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. And then after the event, I went upstairs. I took a slice of cake from the cake that Sam bought me and Laura for all of the work that we were doing, and I ate it, and I wondered what my life was supposed to be after this. What did you do?
I continued to sit on the floor as the stream went off, and I was like, oh, it ended. Now what?
Yep. Yep.
I had to remember what my life was like before we started doing it.
It was so weird. Anyway,
it was very weird.
I guess we're about out of time here. We would be happy to answer more questions.
We're right on time.
I know, we did great. Yeah, we'd be happy to answer more questions in the panels discussion room on our Discord server. If you guys want to talk to us more there, we've got another great virtual panel coming up just after us, and
it's gonna be amazing. Do not miss it. It's gonna be super fun.
I think. Whoa! What's going on? Oh my gosh! Oh my goodness! What is going? Wow!
That to be my avatar. I'm so jealous.
Wow! Oh my! We're being raided. We're being raided by fish.
We're raided by fish.
Wow!
Oh my god! It's all the fish from Lisa. Please play that game, everybody.
Oh my gosh! Oh my goodness! I can't believe what's going. And they've even been color coded to maybe represent the people who they're going to be. And this reeks of something. Oh my god! This reeks of something Greg did when he should have been doing other work.
Why be jealous? You don't need to be jealous.
God,
you can be a fish.
You made me a fish.
Oh my god.
This is the best day of my life.
Thanks, everybody.
I would like everybody to see me on the best day of my life. Look at me.
Oh,
Hi, everyone. We love you.
My gosh. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get ready to transition to the next segment. Stick around for Greg and Tex, GP Lord and Texel Sword, as they take you on a VR chat adventure. We will see you all next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.